thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's, as I said to Gareth, it's very inspirational for me to come in here. Usually I work a lot in the Norwegian public schools and kindergartens and organizations, and it's cool to see that we can do it the way I want it to be done, like you're doing here. First, I just want to give you a little brief about this logo of mine. Because this tree, this is a metaphor for who we are as individuals without doing anything at all. It's just the value of ourselves as human beings and the people around us. Here is what we do. It's what gives us the feeling of accomplishment and to learn new stuff and to be able to perform. What happens often is that we build this much stronger than the core. And then we're not resilient, because when we start to fail and make mistakes, we start to, yeah, you know what I mean with this? Yeah. And that little bird, that's the golden bird, which can make a difference. And we can all do that in a small or big way. So every day we have a possibility to make a difference with the small meetings. And that's something I'm truly passionate about. All right, I think we're ready. As we already heard, the values here are really communicated in a great way. You know all about them. I see them on emails, and I see them on the wall, and I hear it. That learning, well-being, and community, that's really integrated in this school. And a lot of organizations have values. And some are just on the wall and not shown in the culture. They have no effect. But some are good at working on values. And I believe that when all organizations have values, how many families have values? And that's an ongoing process. So I'm just taking the values in here because it has something to say for the mindset, because it's kind of the fundamentals of what we believe, of what we want to give to our children and what's most important. And there's a Harvard research. I can give you the address on that so you can read more about it later. But it's about what the children thinks is most important for their parents. Is it to accomplish and perform and do well? Or is it to be a nice person who gives back to the community and who sees people around them? And maybe the answers will surprise you. Because parents say that, of course, it's more important for my children to be nice as human beings. But the children thinks that the parents thinks accomplishment and doing well in school and grades and stuff is more important. So there's a mismatch here about what we say and really mean and what they get from us as important. Is my English okay? You're getting there? Yeah, you just have to, okay, you're with me, right? And just take your time out if we need that. Okay, so that's just like the background on this. And just to think, okay, what are truly my values? What are truly my beliefs on what's most important? Just have that with you all the time. And this is like the major question. And it's also a question around beliefs. Because how you see yourself and the story you're creating about who you are is probably having an effect on your child and who he or she thinks she is. And that story starts pretty early. I remember myself from like first part of the school. I was okay. I'm not doing good in maths. I'm not doing well in physics and all of those really hard topics. And I very soon made that like a box where I'm not able to step in because that's not a part of me. So there my mindset was really fixed. I have nothing there to, yeah. And I also had an older sister that went here, and she got that prize for being best in those in those topics. And I'm like, okay, so she got everything, there was nothing left for me. That's fine. I can talk about this instead. And who you are and who you think other people are, that's what creates us. You know, we're a social construction. So if I put myself on an island and think, if I haven't met anyone, who am I? If I'm all by myself and I've never interacted with people, how can I say who I am? And that fascinates me because then it has so much to say who I meet. And often that can be quite just coincidence, you know? Okay, I was lucky to meet you and you believed in me, and that's great. But if I didn't meet you, how would it go? And I've been having a lot of courses for the youth that has dropped out of high school. And they probably heard from they were like 3 that that you're stupid, that you're not good enough, that you're always messing things up, and that's their identity. And that's why I think social construction is very interesting, and the way we reflect on each other. The truth we're making about people around us, the story we're making about people around us, that you are this and this, and you're not that. And that's, I didn't bring this to the presentation, but the respect word is put together by 2 words from Latin. You know which one? It's a like rewind, replay. It's read, something you do again. And it's spect, which means to look. So respect is to look again. And that's a practical way to see respect. Okay, so when I'm showing you respect, I'm putting away my attitudes towards you. I'm putting around what I believe about you, and I can put on curiosity and just figure out and be curious about who are you, and try to put my own meanings away. And yeah, okay. So have that in mind. Who do we think people are, and maybe it's not the truth at all. I had a guy who was 25 on a course of mine working in the oil platform climbing. They were all between 25 and 40. This was not their favorite topic. Okay, relationships and values, they're not so into that. But they managed to get themselves involved. And we were talking about respect, and he said, when I was in the military, we were put together in like 4 people in each room. And we didn't meet before we had the uniform on. And I got a really great friend there. We had so much in common, and we found supporting each other and everything. And the first time we were going out from the, what's it called? Like the base. First time we were going out, they put on normal clothes or their own personal clothes. And he was just like almost falling to the ground because his best friend was this heavy metal dude. So he had like this long black skin coat and these things around his wrists. He was like, what? Is this you? And I just think it's a great story about if they met like that, they never even talked to each other. And I think it's an important consciousness to have with us all the time, that people are always more than they look like, and they are always something different than what we believe. So we already handled that. What's the truth about yourself and your child? I have 3 boys. My youngest one is 4. Jesper in the middle is 8, and Henrik is soon to be 10. When Henrik was starting school, he's been really passionate about maths. And since I'm really bad at it, I thought that was cool. Okay, there's hope for him. He can do this. And we started to just like filling him up with different mathematics and challenges because he loved it. And what happened was that he came very far before he even started school. So mathematics was kind of boring for him the first years. And he was so into doing things right, performing, knowing that he always was kind of safe with the tasks. He wasn't normally challenged in those topics. Like, yeah. And then when he was supposed to draw a self-portrait, he just totally backed out. I can't do this. I'm not a drawer. This looks pathetic. And, you know, just wanted to go away because it didn't look good. And he knew that he wasn't any better than his classmates or anything. And that was a reminder for me to, okay, Siri, you have to stop giving him all this math stuff, or you at least have to stop and like encouraging him to show off how great he is on this. You have to put more effort into making him wanting to draw something, do something different that really, that's difficult, so that he can start to like effort and to like doing new stuff. And now he's 10 and I've been working on this, and it's not like easy. It's not like he's changed a lot. He doesn't want to do sports because if he's not the best one on the court, he doesn't want to do it. So I'm gonna make a child book about that as well. So it's ongoing. It's not an easy way to go from the fixed mindset to the growth one, but we're getting more into that. So when Jasper and Henrik were in the car, they were then 5 and 3.5, I think. Yeah, age 3.5 and 5. And I asked them the stupid question of what they wanted to become in their lives. And and then they answered. Henrik, the oldest one, he wants to become a pilot. Of course, that's like a cool thing. And Jasper, he wants to become Mickey Mouse. And I thought it was so, it's you can just see them as two very different individuals with two very different perspectives with the same parents and only 18 months between them. They've been in the same, you know, it's all the same, but so different. And I just love that Mickey Mouse thinking. It was something so liberating and creative about just wanting to become Mickey Mouse. And I was just in a 4th grade class at a school and talking about my book and how it was to write a book and stuff like that. And they're so passionate and so enthusiastic, and they're like sitting, everyone wants to say something, everyone wants to come with questions. And then I have this group of inspectors and principals in the Norwegian school, and they're like, there's no energy, there's no like, hello, you know? And when does this happen? That we just kill our curiosity and our engagement and our willing to look stupid in front of others and ask those silly questions that we don't dare to ask. Where on this way of becoming adults do this fall out? Because we miss something. Well, that's what I think as doing this. I'm like, why is it like that in the 4th grade? And when we're working with adults, we're just very, you know, we're doing okay. We're blending in. The creativity is a thing we have, but we don't use it that much, like outwards, because it looks kind of strange, maybe. I'm not sure. It's just something to reflect a little bit on. It will be cool to be 30 years old and maybe still want to be Mickey Mouse. I'm not sure. Okay, so some of you probably know a little bit about mindset. Carol Dweck is a Stanford professor, a psychologist. And I first got to know this when I was studying at the business school. I think it's a very interesting, and for me it was so concrete and is it concrete? Yeah, and easy to adopt because it has, you can just change and swap your language a little bit. So we're getting into that. And the first is what I think about intelligence. I have two sisters. The oldest one, she's an, what's that called? Economist? Isn't that? Yeah. She's always been doing very well in school, but she's made a lot of effort. She's been working late hours and really giving all her best to get the best. And my other sister, she's a doctor, medicine, and she just did everything so easy. She has this photographic memory and she just gets it. And I'm the youngest one and I'm like a free rider. but when I grew up, I always thought that the one in the middle was more smart than the oldest one, because she didn't need to do all that effort to get it. And that is something to say about what I thought about intelligence. What is intelligence? Is it something we can develop, or is it something that we're gifted with? How much can we develop it? Can we develop all different kinds of intelligences, like musical intelligence, social intelligence, the mathematical intelligence? And what do you think about your child's intelligence? Kind of start there, because in a fixed mindset you would say, oops, okay. In a fixed mindset you would say that I'm good at this. This is what I'll perform on, and the rest I'll forget. I can't do anything about it. And in the growth mindset, you know, it's the opposite, where you can learn whatever you want if you just make enough effort on it. And normally we're someplace in between. It's not like you're 100% growth mindset or 100% fixed mindset. But we can work on going more over to the growth. And it has something to say about how we praise our children, and we're going into that. And the same, what do you think about effort? Is it a positive or a negative thing? When your child needs to use a whole lot of time on your homework and the other one makes it really fast, which one's better? And this with failure. Now I know that your school is very great, but the school system itself is not often bringing failure as a great way to learn. I have a 2-year coaching certification from the States. And the first thing we said in that room was that, ta-da, you failed, hooray, you learned something. And that was like adult, so it was kind of stupid, but it was funny, and it was liberating. And I'm thinking, if the classroom was like, yeah, you did a mistake, that's great, remember that, because now you can learn something. And we all know that we learn from mistakes, but it's not like we really want to do it ourselves that often. It's the way when I feel like, okay, today I'm gonna speak English. I'm gonna do a lot of this, because normally when I'm a speaker, I have this fluently in Norwegian. And I feel, okay, but I don't care, because when I do English now, I'm better the next time, and I want to speak in English, so it's okay. But it's the willingness to like look a little bit stupid. And when we model that in front of our kids, it's much, they do what we do. They don't do what we say. So if we want our children to try new things, look stupid, fail, learn, we have to do it ourselves. And I was just thinking, is it possible to start playing basketball now when I'm 30? I would love to do that. But I don't know that many grown-ups that just start a new activity or learn a new language, because we're so busy with what we already know. But I really believe in that we have to challenge ourselves more often to get the kids to do it. We have to be able to look stupid and and not care that much about what everyone else thinks. Because that's really so limiting. And now that we have to do something else than just the oil, we have to figure out something new. We have to fail. We have to be able to look stupid. All right, so we're already there and we know this. A response to effort would be that if you're in the fixed mindset, looking smart is most important. When you're in the growth mindset, learning is most important. So how can we get our children to be like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to learn. It's not that important for me to always choose the tasks that I know will look good. How can we encourage them to look at learning as more important than looking smart? Maybe we have to challenge ourselves also there. And I'm just going to read like a concrete way of phrasing that. Okay, so just see yourself in the situation with your child trying to do something, and you're saying, "Whoa, you did that really quickly. You're so clever." What the child hears is, if you don't do something quickly, then you're not clever. So to develop the growth mindset, we might say, "Whoa, you did that really quickly. Okay, this is a little bit funny, but I'm sorry that it was too easy for you and that I have wasted your time. Let's do something that you really can learn from." Okay, I think one of mine would just start crying and, "No, I don't want to do anything else." Okay, you got an A grade. Well done, I'm so proud of you. What the child hears is, if you don't get an A grade, you won't be proud of me. So to develop the growth mindset, we might say, well, you got an A grade, you must have worked really hard to achieve that. And your effort and commitment really paid off. Well done. There's a big difference here. And you can still give praise for the A grade, of course. But it's what we focus on. Okay, so here it's commitment and effort and the work. Okay, last one. What a parent can say, if you want to get a job, you need to get good grades. My mom just said that to my son. Okay, she's a teacher, and she was like, well, you don't know who she is, so it's okay. Don't Google it. And she said, because it's like, oh, why do we have to learn all this? So you can get a good job, she said. I'm like, yeah. Okay, so if you want to get a good job, you need to get good grades. What the child here is, my parents want me to get a good job, and they will only value me if I do. I guess it's a little bit like on the edge here, but it makes you reflect on it, right? Yeah. Okay. So to develop the growth mindset, again, you can say, if you want to get a good job, you need to work hard and try your best. But different people have different aptitudes and abilities. The important thing is for you to do the things that are right for you. So when they put two groups working, so if you're the one group from, now I'm just gonna, you don't have to do anything, I'm just gonna use you as examples. Okay, you're two different groups. And you get a puzzle, you're 6 years old. You get a puzzle that's really easy, okay? And you together, you get it right away. And I come to you and I say, oh, you did this really fast. You're so clever, you're smart. You're very smart. And here I say, wow, great job. You must have done great teamwork. And it's too easy for you this, so I'll give you something that you can develop on, okay? And then I'll give you two, the same groups, very different task, which is almost impossible for you to do. And then this group, they just give up. they get frustrated and they give up and they don't want to ever do it again. And this group, you really challenge each other and you make it. And it sounds really easy now, but it's actually that easy in the research of one of the examples that Carol Dweck uses. Okay, so it's just the different focus, because when I say this is too easy for you, you want something more. You get, okay, so we want to develop, we want to learn, we want to try harder. And here it's just, oh no, we want to look smart. And that's what they see as well as when you're used to, in the Norwegian language, there's something called like flink pike. It's a good girl. Yeah. And when you're used, or we can say boys can be good as well. So when we're used to getting that and hearing that, that becomes part of our identity. Okay, I'm the smart girl. I want to look good. And often the first years of school can be easy. Everything flows. It's okay. We don't have to work hard. And then, as Gareth said in this morning, when we start to meet challenges, we just, okay, I don't want to do that. That scares me. That challenges my identity of being smart. And when it goes into my identity, I want to do everything to forsvare. It's
preserve.
Defense.
Yeah, defense to preserve myself. Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting. I think because we're so used to saying, "Oh, you're clever, you're smart." And it's not like we're ever gonna say something nice to our children again, because it can almost hear like that. No, it's more about, okay, so we have to focus on the working, how we work, how we make the effort.
Sorry, so instead of saying, yes, you're smart, you've done great, you should say, oh, was probably easy. I'm just trying to remember what I should say.
Yeah, you can say, oh, this was easy for you. I see this one. Yeah, this isn't, yeah, we should find something more challenging or something that you need to put more effort in. Yeah. And when I'm saying this, I'm like, okay, so here we have afternoon Wednesday, people are going, we just have to do the homework pretty fast. So, we're not able to do that every day, but it's about being conscious about it, because we live in I know how our days are. I have 3 of them, and I know that we have to do a lot of other things and cook dinner and, but it's about finding the balance here and just, okay, so when the next time I'm telling my child, oh, you're so smart that did that, I can rephrase and say, great effort, let's try something harder. I see that you're not being challenged enough right now. Catherine?
Just to that point, about using the effort and the commitment and not so much you're super smart. Carol Wallace, our middle school principal, she just led a staff meeting where she walked through some perfect examples of, instead of this, try this.
Yeah.
To align with that growth mindset, because it is something that we are noticing a difference with in terms of the kids expending more energy on a task or a problem when you do approach it from that point of view. So what I can do is I have that list and I can email it out along with her presentation afterwards. I'll get that from Carol. So I think there are some that are more classroom oriented, but there are some that are definitely still relevant at home.
Yeah. Okay, we already had that one. It's much more important for me to learn things in my classes than it's to get the best grades. So there you have the growth mindset. And this is all about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs that really change the world. They've been doing so many failures and they try it again. And I think that's really the key to getting new places and to make new things come alive. We have to be able to fail, but to segregate that it's not, I'm not a mistake, but I make mistakes. And to our children, you're not a mistake because you make mistakes. We have to separate the two. Get it? Yeah. Okay, effort is negative in the fixed mindset. To tell the truth, when I work hard at my schoolwork, it makes me feel like I'm not very smart. And I've been thinking this the whole time I went to school. And if I'm really struggling, if I need to ask my teacher for help, if I need to ask students with me for help. I'm not very smart. And the opposite, the harder I work at something, the better you'll be at it. And that's something I'm really encouraging my Henrik and my other boys on, that we have to work. Everything that we learn well, everything we do well, we have worked at it to get it. It's not like he can go to he went to this gymnastics and he was going to try this first time. And there was something there that did like this split or this other way. What's it called? Salto. When you
Somersault?
Yeah, when you flip around in the air. When you're like doing that. And someone did it better than him. And he was like, I can't go there because everyone's better than me. And I will lower the level. And I'm like, oh, but you haven't even started. You have to go for half a year or 1 year before you start to learn. But he's very challenging on this one. Yeah, very challenging. I don't want to take this subject again. Maybe I could cheat or become sick or avoid this. You feel helpless. And I mean, this is not only in the school area. It could be a social setting. You know, you came there, you felt stupid, you don't ever want to go there again. You feel helpless. You can call in sick. You kind of have a headache because you want to avoid not doing well in an area. Okay, so failure on the growth mindset. I will work harder from now on. I would spend more time studying for the tests, and it builds resilience. And resilience is the key word here. It's about being able to get challenges and still move forward. And that's what I see in what happens now in the high school in Norway, where there are 30% dropouts, and you have more youth now take antidepressive medicines. People are really building themselves on achievement. And that's not a good idea at all. We have to build a foundation, and that's why I'm really into social and emotional competence, because I know that's the one key thing for how we make it in life. There's a professor named Daniel Goleman. Maybe some of you have heard of him. He's been writing many books about emotional intelligence, and he's also one of the founders of a program in the States that's called Social and Emotional Learning. And it's just so, the research is so, it's so easy to see that this is the most important thing, how we relate to ourselves and the people around us. And in the Norwegian schools, I don't think it gets enough place, because we think that how fast we learn to read, how fast we learn mathematics, and like the things that we are measured on internationally, that's where we put our effort in school. And that's just too bad. Because we should do that as well, but we need this foundation. Okay, so for me, I use growth mindset as like, it's painful sometimes. Like when you touch a cactus, you know, it's painful, but it grows. And it's giving ourselves and our children the possibility to learn to struggle and to learn to cope with that pain it sometimes is, to put in effort and to look stupid, and to often or always disconnect failure from who you are. Yeah. And that also when we talk about other people, when we talk about that guy who fixes the lawn, or the ones that drop out, or politicians we don't like, or it's how we talk about people around us, because that has some reflection in our children. You know, what's good, what's bad, what's good enough, what's expected of me, all of those things. It's really about how we think about other people. Do we think that person can change? One thing I just want to say about the kids that drop out because I had a very interesting discussion with them because they said, you know, they look the exact way you think they look. You know, it's we have an image of who they are, and often it's true. And I say, okay, so they're willing to change, and they go really hard in for that change. They want to make an effort. They want to build our society as well. And they say, okay, but the biggest challenge for us is to get back into that little place where we live and to make people understand that we really changed. We don't steal anymore. We don't do drugs. We don't make this, but people don't believe us. So we're not welcome here. And it gets me goosebumps because we have to give ourselves and others a new chance. And that's all about respect in what I believe in as to look again. And when I see you in a new way, you will develop new things. Yeah.
They feel isolated.
Yeah, they feel isolated, and they're in a box. They're in a box of the youth that can't be okay persons. You know, they're criminal, they're whatever. And we have to be able to get them in and look again and try to help them. All right, and this is more like my picture of the fixed mindset. Not like all ballerinas are in a fixed mindset. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that it's the performance and looking good and doing the right things because that makes me feel good, or not feel good. That makes me look smart, and then I have to do the things that makes me look smart all the time, and then it's very scary to try new things. So my last reflection is just to find in yourselves and in our children what really makes them come alive. What are their buttons and what really engages them, and how can we use that to build them, their core, and to make them want to try a lot of new things and to put in effort and to look stupid, and that's okay. And it just fascinates me from being in a 4th grade class and see that passion and to see what happens with us. I'm just trying to do something about that. So now we're going to have a Q&A questions, more questions if there are. You can look at these books, and you can also follow me on these social medias because I'm very into this, so I do a lot of tips, and it's all free, you know. So so I'm willing to say that. So thank you very much.